Hey everyone, welcome back to TapRooT TV. I'm Benny Hughes and I'm here today with Mark Paradise. Hey Mark.
Hey, great to be here.
We're going to talk about something that I feel like I encounter every day, and it's human error.
That's just shocking.
It's shocking. I do. I encounter it every day, and thanks to TapRooT, I kind of look outside myself to see what really caused what happened that day.
Great.
So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. Is human error a root cause?
And we can settle that right away. No, it is not.
It takes a lot of pressure off of you when you realize
it's a
that.
causal factor,
Yes.
really, isn't it? In the TapRooT system,
Yes.
it's a causal factor.
Yes, and you are currently working on a book
Yes.
about this, and I'm super excited to read it. So
I think it'll be really interesting. It's written for people who see that human errors are one of the big problems at their company, and they want to do something about it. And so it gives you a whole bunch of different tools you can use. It tells you why those tools either work or don't work, because some of the things that are in here, people are using as tools that aren't good tools. So I explain the human factors, design even behind the different tools and why they work and don't work, and then give you a whole slew of these things to think about, so that you can pick what's right for your facility to start improving human performance or stopping human error. That's the title of the book.
Yes.
At your facility.
And to me, it's kind of, from my experience, it's a mindset change, because you literally stop. We don't blame people in TapRooT.
Right.
And so that means we do have to go look for why things happen. And so, like I said, I do this every day with myself. But I didn't do that before.
So I guess that's the first step.
Yeah.
The first step in stopping human error is you look at your actual experience you're having now. And just like you say, I look at what I do every day and I can see reasons for it. They can look at incidents or near misses or equipment failures, whatever the problems they're having, and they can use TapRooT to do what I call the reactive evaluation of that. You can do your root cause analysis, find the human performance root causes, and fix them. And that's the first thing you can do. And I want to say the easiest thing to do, but the first thing you can do toward improving human performance. But of course, that's waiting for something bad to happen,
Right,
to make improvements happen. And so you don't really want to do that all the time. You really want to get ahead of the game and stop these errors before they cause accidents that are worth investigating.
Yeah. We don't like people to have to be reactive. We want you to be proactive.
Right, exactly.
And that mindset shift can be very helpful.
And the reason why it's so important is because human errors can be so costly. In the first introduction to the book, I go through some of what does it cost for a human error. And of course, the biggest one I think I know of right off the top of my head is the Deepwater Horizon accident. It was $65 billion for that accident. $65 billion.
Not counting loss of life.
No, that's so you might say, hey, 11 people died.
Right.
That's more than 65,000 billion, or you might not. At any rate, it's those are two different things. I separate those out. So you've got the human cost, but you've got the economic cost, and that's just one example. I just had a couple others here that I wrote about in the book. You talk about 250,000 people die each year from medical errors. 250,000 people.
I feel like I've heard a lot of these lately.
That's like, you say, well, 11 people died, but 250,000. That's amazing.
It's very unnerving.
Let's see, what's another good one here? Let's see, I like this one. Was it a scientist or an engineer at Lockheed Martin? An engineer at Lockheed Martin made a mistake when they were calculating the Mars orbiter, where it was going to land on Mars when everything had to deploy, and they got feet and meters mixed up.
That's the difference. And
so it didn't, the landing arresting things never deployed early enough and didn't stop it before it hit the planet. And they lost a $165 million orbiter because of human error.
Yeah,
they made a mistake.
They don't have any inexpensive errors in those types of
No,
things. Ever.
It was, I can't remember what the cost was for the Hubble telescope, but the Hubble telescope had, they misground the mirror by just a slight amount. because once again, somebody made a mistake, and that they had to do a whole space mission to go out and correct the mirror on this Hubble spell it. So think about how much that costs.
The corrective side of it
Is huge. Is huge. And so you start thinking about these things, and you think, well, okay, that's all well and good. You know, those are big things. They didn't happen at my facility. It's not my cost. But then start thinking about what does it cost you? Now, I know you started off saying you're talking about your mistakes, but in a company, you know, first off, what are your fatalities and lost times? They're almost always due to human errors. How about needless equipment repairs? How many times do you repair equipment because you goofed it up the last time you did it and you have to redo it? How much lost production, outage, stoppage of production do you have that's due to human errors? How about regulatory fines? How about returned product or bad quality product that you either can't ship or get shipped back to you?
It can go on.
How about, or even things like schedule slippages on construction projects, because people made errors and you have to go back and fix them and you have to schedule slip then. So there's all these kinds of things. And what I guess I'd ask people to do first is, if you think it isn't worthwhile to try to stop or improve human performance at your facility, first get me a number of what human error is costing your facility. And then you're going to say, wow, this really is worth fixing. It really is worth doing something. And that can get you some justification then for some budget to invest in making improvements. And that's what you really need to do. You really need to invest in making improvements.
Well, and if you don't think that you're having those types of issues, maybe look, are you having something happen over and over again?
If they aren't having any human errors, maybe we need to go there and find out how they're doing.
I know
right?
it, we do.
That's the real key. If they don't have any, they don't. So the whole point behind the book was, once you decide, yes, I want to improve, well, how are you going to do it? What are the tools you're going to use? What are the techniques you're going to use? And not just, there's dozens of them you can do. And so which ones are right for the problems I'm facing and for our facility and for what we're doing? And how should we implement this? Because everybody wants to improve, but once again, I said there was an investment required, which means it's time and effort to do it. And so maybe I can't do this all the first day, right? Maybe the first year I don't get all the tools rolled out. I don't try everything. So how do you set this program up? How do you step by step go through and implement? And where are you going to get the biggest bang for your buck when you do that, so that you get some good improvements, so you can then say, see, we are justified in doing this, and here was some more we can do, and here's some more we can do, and people get excited about it, and you start going, wow, this is really helping.
Well, and spending human time versus correcting human error, that's a lot less expensive.
Well, so I was thinking about the $65 billion that it cost for the Deepwater Horizon accident. I went and looked at what did it cost ExxonMobil to buy XTO Energy. This was a huge merger and acquisition. They only paid $41 billion for buying XTO Energy. That's less than the cost of one accident.
Wow.
So you start thinking about the cost of these things, and it's like, holy cow, there really is some benefit we can gain here, and it really can make a difference to our bottom line. It can make a difference to human suffering and injuries. It can make a difference to the quality of our product. It can make a difference to the environment we live in. All those kinds of things. If you start getting rid of these mistakes that are causing big problems to occur.
So I don't know everything that's in your book, but listening to you talk about this, so do you get into implementing and how you make this happen at your company?
There's a whole chapter. The final chapter is all about how you take what you've learned in the book and apply it to implement it. It starts out with some of the general, why and what can we do. And in fact, admitting that you're probably never going to completely eliminate human error.
Right.
I mean, it's the best a human person can be. The most reliable performance you're probably going to get is making, for instance, like one mistake in 10,000 times you do something. So if you realize that 1 out of 10,000 is the best you're going to get, if you can't afford any errors, what do you have to do? Well, you have to build redundant safety features in so that it's, let's see, what is it? 10,000 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 to the minus fourth. So you want to say, well, I want to have essentially 0, so maybe it's 10 to the 8th or 10 to the minus 12th. You want a whole bunch of zeros
Wow.
there, right? Well, how many redundant safeguards
Yeah.
do you need then to make sure that if one fails, the other two
Yeah.
are going to catch it? And so you want to get it down to, number one, you want to make sure that you reduce the likelihood of errors, so you get good human performance. Number two, you want to make errors easy to catch, so that if somebody has an error, it doesn't progress on to being an accident. They catch it and fix it.
Right.
So you make the easy to catch is important. Sometimes they call that a resilient system.
And that's kind of a culture kind of thing too, that people aren't not reporting things that happen and things
exactly.
like that.
So reporting and investigating is a really important
Yeah.
thing too. That's sort of like number three. And so that you want to get people to fess up when they make errors,
Right.
so you can learn from them. Then you want to get proactive. So after you've got people, you've got the systems laid out so they are good, and after you're doing investigations of what's being reported, you then want to say, well, what's our, what are the things we need to work on the most to make sure they don't fail? So you get out there proactively, you audit and you assess, and you get not just corporate auditors to do this, but you get supervisors to go out there on a pre-job brief and know how to do a good pre-job inspection, and then do a good pre-job brief where they warn people about the errors that could happen, where they see problems that could happen, where the people in the field start seeing where the errors could be made and stopping things before they get there. So that's really the big secret of all this.
Wow.
And so it's not just the corporate safety guy, or it's not just the corporate quality guy, or it's not some corporate auditor who's going to make this happen. It's everybody in the company is working to reduce these kinds of errors, and they understand what they can do to make that happen. Oops, I just touched my microphone. That'll make a big bang on the finger, won't it?
We need to have a fix for that,
Yes,
for your
we do.
human error.
There we go. Human error all the time.
Luckily for us, ours tend to just fall back on our IT department when I make the error.
So we've already talked about defense in depth, right?
Yes.
The best you can do is 1 in 10,000, so you get several defenses.
Right.
The other thing you want to do is, as much as possible, remove the thing that's the big hazards, the things that are going to kill people. If you can remove that kind of work, then that just really makes human error a lot less important, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
See, you're not going to kill yourself here sitting in front of your computer at work.
Thank goodness.
It's not like there's a giant hole beside your desk that you
No.
could fall through and you
No.
plummet 12 stories to your death. So worst thing we're going to do is touch our
Right,
microphone
exactly.
and make a noise in the middle of the recording.
Or I close myself out of some system and have to get help from them.
Or you lock yourself out of your car.
Oh, I do that.
It's harder and harder to do that.
It is, but sometimes it can still happen.
It can still happen. So the simple ones, maybe you don't need. Maybe you can live with those.
Yeah.
The consequences are so
Right.
small that you think, I'm not going to spend a bunch of money having redundant safeguards to make that happen. So that's another important part, is knowing what your risks are, knowing what your hazards are, and analyzing your systems and seeing, okay, where are my significant hazards? Where are the things that could cause big problems, big environmental problems, big cost of life problems, big financial problems, big construction delay problems, depending on what you're wanting to prevent.
Right.
Where are the things that could lead to that, and so that you focus your effort in the right places.
There's a lot in this book.
There is.
I think this is going to be super interesting.
I think it will be too. It's just now going down for its final proofing down at the printers.
Uh-huh.
So as soon as that's done, they'll start turning it around, and I expect it to be out end of January probably. And
That'll
the
be
course is
exciting.
coming up that goes with the book. It's a new course at the summit. It's still called Stopping Human Error, but it's a completely different content for the course.
So based on what you're doing here.
It's based on the book.
Yes. That's going to be a really good course.
Yep.
So that's going to be a pre-summit course at our upcoming summit.
And it's for people who want to, the material in the course is really meant for people who are looking to develop a program and want to really improve where they are. And that could be safety, it could be quality, it could be environmental, it could be equipment reliability, because all those have human performance or human error as a central thing that's probably causing a lot of your problems you're having.
I kind of wish I was proofreading this book. You didn't send it to me to proofread.
I will get you a copy, Beth.
That
I'll
would
get
be
you a
great.
copy.
I can't hardly wait. So, well, this is awesome. I think it's going to be a fantastic course. The book obviously is going to be full of a lot of information we kind of don't get into sometimes. It goes into a little different.
Well, it's built into TapRooT. A lot
Right.
of this is built into TapRooT, but people don't know what's in there.
Right.
And then these tools you use a lot of them are completely separate from TapRooT, although they're sort of under the surface in there, and you just don't know about them.
Sneaky.
Yep, very sneaky.
All right. Well, if you want more information about this, I think you'll be as intrigued and interested as I am, because I really can't wait for this to come out. I think it's going to be fantastic. And that 2-day course at the PreSummit.
They can register for that now.
Absolutely. Registration is up. This PreSummit courses are the March 9th through the 10th, right? And then the
Right.
summit is the 11th through the 13th.
And I'm giving a talk at the summit about this and how you use it.
This is going to be great.
So if they can't get to the course, they should at least come to my
Yes.
summit talk.
Oh, that's going to be great. So is that a keynote talk or is it a breakout session?
It's a breakout session.
Okay, so when you go to your registration page for the summit, look for his breakout session, because some people can alter your
Yes, you can.
whatever tracks you
You
have.
can put in there whether you like, if
Yeah.
you don't like those other people's talk, just pick out
Put
mine.
Mark's talk. You know it's going to be good.
Yes.
Well, we are gearing up for the summit, so we hope you get to our website or contact us at info@taproot.com to get more information. We're going to have this and tons of other amazing sessions and talks that are going to benefit your improvement program. So we really want you all to show up. It's like we've already got quite a few people registering early this year, so I think a lot of people are super excited.
So how do they register?
They go to our website.
That's it.
They go to our
Click on
website.
the summit button, and then there will be a registration thing, and they can.
And we have a little video on there that shows how to register if you
If
have
you-
some issues.
If you really
you need some help,
if you need tutoring on how to register, we've got a video.
so you don't have a human error.
And what should they also do? They need to sign up, or what's the button here someplace?
Yes.
They need to subscribe.
Subscribe to our channel, like us if you like us. Hopefully you did. We actually want to hear from
How
you
could they
too.
not
I
like
know.
us? We're so friendly.
We are so friendly. But tell us, what do you think about human error as a root cause? I mean,
Leave comments.
what are your experiences with that? What do you think? We'd love to hear from you. Love to start some
If
conversation.
you never make an error, no, there's none of those people.
Yes, we want to hear from you. For sure.
You're an alien, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
But he's right. So subscribe to our channel and hit the bell for notifications. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can go in and ask to be notified of when we have videos. So please be sure and do that. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, because that's how you're going to find out about all this stuff. So thank you so much for joining us today, Mark. I need a draft so I
I
can
will give
read
you
it.
one.
And I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you back here next week.